Showtime in the city, in your city, in my city, wherever you at. This is the sniper. I'm the sniper. He's the pundit. Wait, this way, that way. Yep, he's the pundit, and we are the sniper and the pundit.
I don't have the training for the sniper. I don't have the training for the sniper.
You got the one for the pundit though.
Hey, what? Dead damn straight there.
Yeah. And this is the Sniper and the Pundit presents Top Rope Talk. So welcome to everybody out there who is catching us on whatever platform that you're watching us from. This is brought to you in part by Sideline Sports Network and also the Facebook group Wrestling Discussions. So feel free to find us out on Facebook. We're all pro wrestling all the time. We have live threads in there. We have many great discussions. And give me just 1 second. Something is hold on just 1 second.
Yep.
So we're on. I think we're on. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right, let me see here. I'm going to try to re-add here. Just 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. The StreamYard kind of messed up.
ESPN better be lucky we still have these. We're going past them.
I know, right? All right, let me see here. All right, cool. So we're live on Wrestling Discussions. Let me go back to edit. I'm going to add, all right, shout out to our guy, JB Ellis. Fix your Facebook, dude. It's been giving us trouble. Boom! All right, there we go. Cool. All right. So, with that being said, not too much time. We're only an hour and 53 minutes into it. So, if you are catching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, also DBTV and Stream TV, if you're catching us on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button to Sideline Sports Network. We have plenty of material for you. It's not just this show. We also have Confidential on Wednesdays. We have Pushing Them Back with Kobe White. We have First to 56, our coach show hosted by our guy Rondo Griffin and his other crew. Also, is the Gauntlet on Fridays. And now, as far as basketballs, we will let you all know something pretty shortly. It is up in the air right now, but also we have plenty of content. Let's see, Pundit Views, a previous show. So feel free to go take a look back in the history and everything, and enjoy some of the content, not only from back then, but also from right now, because we got material for you every single week. So our first topic on today's program is a rated R journey, a look at Edge's.
What were we going to do with my, what were we going to do with my, I had a little thing to say at first.
Oh, that's right. That is right. Okay, disregard. Hang on 1 second. Let me take this down. Okay. So I'm going to solo screen Jacob for a second, and he's got a top rope point to give to you all. So go ahead, take it away.
What's up, Ballright? All right, this isn't a lot to do with wrestling, but I wanted to bring this little point up. It's like between the Gauntlet on Friday and between something on Facebook we saw, it had to do with J.J. Redick. The bringing up something as usual stupid. So, I mean, he has said that this era is more. He has said in the past that this era is more physical of the NBA than the one of the past in the '80s, which, of course, that is stupid to say. Then he has said now that Magic Johnson is not one of the top 5 point guards of all time, which that's him. See, that is him. Well, we could say it with assists, but that is JJ trying to get people's attention, just like Skip Bayless. And I've got a question to ask. Why do you have to lie to get attention? Because here's the thing. These are lies. They're obvious. Saying things like Johnny Manziel is going to take over LeBron James in Cleveland back in the day, I promise you, that's a lie. It was always going to be a lie. You're just saying things. A Skip like this was just saying things like this to get attention. Redick saying that that this year is more. This year's or this era's ball is more physical than the 80s. It's a lie. That's a lie. It's to get attention. So let me ask this. Why can't truth get attention? Because I promise you this. I tell the truth a lot. And boy, do I get attention. A lot. Because let me say this. I not only do I give the truth, I bang it into people's heads until it becomes a skeleton that I put some skin on it so I can bang it again. I did it with James Harden. Did it with James Harden over and over, and I started it a decade ago, before I was even with Sideline Sports. Guess who's right? I've done it with Justin Fields when the world was ready for him to have 400-yard games and 5,000 yards in his rookie year and be the next Mahomes. I banged it into their head over and over and over, and now he is 1 year away from having to go somewhere else. Guess who's been saying that the whole time? Here on Sideline Sports. Guess who's been saying it? People don't want to hear it. Yeah, guess what? A lot of people don't want to hear the truth. That can get attention too. And I know clickbait, I know Jeremy, clickbait gets attention. But truth can get attention, especially when the people and the fans don't want to hear it and they want you to be wrong. But it's kind of the idea. We need to quit lying to get clickbait. Just be honest, even if you're honest. And guess what? If we're wrong, we're wrong. One day I might be wrong. Might. My next one I've been banging to the head is Jordan Love is going to bomb. Thank you very much, Jeremy. Next one is going to be Jeremy. One day I might be wrong. Maybe.
Absolutely, and that was our top rope point. Sometimes we do a little, outside the wrestling type deal, but hey, he's the pundit. That's what he does. And to add to that, and before we get on to our first topic officially, is I'm going to just say this, and that is some people do not like to hear the truth because they hate having their illusions destroyed. Ignorance is bliss. The elders have taught us that, and it still resonates today. With that being said, shout out to go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the point that I make. I mean, you've heard me from the get-go here at 3 years with Harden. I've been doing it well before you guys on there. And they were laughing at me because he was hitting 60-point games like it was nothing. Mm-hmm. And they were laughing at me then, and I was catching that. So I was catching the thing, and I don't ever worry. I don't worry about getting laughed at because I know I'm right. And yeah, I'm going to be wrong someday, and I'll admit if I'm wrong. But my next possibility of being wrong maybe is Jordan Love, but I don't think I'm wrong. But the biggest thing is, why do you have to lie to get clickbait? That's the only thing I'm bringing up. Why does it have to be a lie? It's completely obvious that the 80s were a lot more physical. Completely. It's right into your brain. It's completely obvious that Magic Johnson was one of the greats, the point guards. Completely, as you see the thing. But why do you have to lie to get clickbait? Truth will get it enough.
Yes, it will. But there's just one problem with that. And that is the era of too many pander bears. Again, you pander into a demographic. You pander into a demographic that never saw Magic play. They never saw Jordan play or anything like that. But you're right. More and more people should be teaching them about how great they were. And the internet is free. You can go and look up all the footage. But to some, it's just easier to lie, like you said, and say, Magic wasn't that great. Jordan sucked. Steph Curry is the best player of all time. All opinionated,
but it's like there's millions of dollars on ESPN. Someone's making millions of dollars on ESPN to lie. It's not just people on Twitter. Someone's making millions of dollars on ESPN or Fox to lie.
And that's the problem. It's monetized.
Yes.
What is the bottom line in the United States of America? The green dollar bill.
Yeah, but you
lie. But it's true.
But you're making money to lie, and that's what I can't stand. Truth will get enough people steamed. You don't need to lie.
No, I totally get it. But yeah, but no, we do have to get on to our first topic officially, and that is now a rated R journey, a look at Edge's 25-year career. So,
look at those abs.
I know, right? He still got it. But if you all caught SmackDown last Friday, you heard Michael Cole say right as the bell rang, we've heard the rumors online, and if this is it, tear the house down, Edge, So in his 25-year career, and it's anybody's guess if he's and I've already went and I've started hearing the rumors. Okay, he's not really retiring. He's going to jump to AEW because he really wants a last match with Christian. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. Maybe you can give some insight on that. But just a quick rundown of Edge's career. He's won a total of 31 championships in his career. He held the World Heavyweight Championship a record 7 times, WWE Championship 4 times. He's an 11-time champion, 5-time Intercontinental Champion, 1-time United States Champion, 12-time Tag Team Champion, World Tag Team Champion, and he held the WWE Tag Team title twice. He's WWE's 14th Triple Crown champion, 7th Grand Slam champion. He won the 2001 King of the Ring, the 2005 and first official Money in the Bank ladder match, and the 2010 Royal Rumble match, making him the first wrestler to achieve all three: King of the Ring, Money in the Bank, and Royal Rumble. And not to mention, he won the 2020 Royal Rumble as well. So, wait, no, not 2020, 2021. He won the 2021 Royal Rumble as well. So, man, and what a ride, with Edge. I think this all was about coming back because he said he never felt like he could go out on his own terms, So he was obviously back to see if he still had it. He won the Royal Rumble. He didn't win the world title, but he didn't need to. He never chased it again, but he didn't need to. It was just great enough just seeing him win the Rumble and like getting to headline one more WrestleMania. So I want to swing it over to Jacob and give your thoughts on Edge's career.
Part of me wishes I went to WrestleMania 27 in Atlanta.
Oh,
Part
sweet.
of me wishes I got to see his final match.
Mm-hmm.
Part of me with Alberto Del Rio. I wish I could have been it because I had no clue at the time. And then I get home, watch Raw, and there it is. There he's retiring the next day. And it's like part of me. I was saying for many years that I got to see his final match, and then he shows up. But that's just your selfishness. It's awesome to see him back. But just think about this part. Not only does he get all of those accolades, but he gets to be with his hero. Hulk Hogan was his hero, and he gets to be a tag team champ with him.
Yeah.
Gets to be a tag team champ with his hero. And it's like, truthfully, how many get that chance? I can say Charles Robinson because Ric Flair was his guy and he got to work with him.
Yeah, they called him Lil Nate.
Huh?
They called him Lil Nate.
Yeah, but how many truly got to stay long enough to get their heroes? It's like a few of them got with Flair. A few of them got it with Flair, but it's like there wasn't a lot of the time with television, so you couldn't really see that back in the time. Not too many. Edge got it.
Yeah.
Edge got that, and good for him. And they started WrestleMania 6, he and Christian at WrestleMania watching Hogan and Warrior. And then he gets to go there, and then he's been blessed because he gets a guy who trains him for free because he is the son of a single mom that couldn't afford it, and he gets the free training.
Yeah.
And it's just like Big Boss Man, who all he was going to be doing was being a job guy, but 360 pounds, and everything like that. Ends up that he could take a suplex from a guy like 190 from Tully Blanchard, and
wasn't Blanchard a little bigger than that?
Yeah, he was like 198 or something.
Oh, man.
But it's like he took it like it was nothing, and it's like, and Dusty goes, "I'm going to have to do something with that butt." It's like I can't do it as well as Cody, but you get my point. But it's like he does that, and all of a sudden he goes from job guy to working every legend in the world in one fell swoop, just from one little thing. In acting and in wrestling and in music and in everything, it's that one fell swoop moment, and Edge got that moment. Just somebody that took him under his wing, be able to do that for free. He worked hard. And you know something? His career could have been over before it started because he busted the neck of one of the Mexicans.
Yeah.
Very first match. Broke the guy's neck, ended his career. That could have ended his career before you knew it. He was off for a few weeks. But then he gets back and he learns and he gets it better, And truthfully, he's just a nice guy that wanted to work.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
He was a nice guy that wanted to work, and then he has to end it early. But then he finds a really good wife, good kids. They be able to get it, and he grew up. And it's like you become a dad, you grow up. Become a husband, you grow up. He got to act. He's been able to act, but he wanted to start. He can go back to his acting again. And he has 31. Can you wait 31 years?
Yeah.
31 years. We've been talking about those kind of numbers with like Hulk Hogan and like Ric Flair, and they're 40s, in the 40s range. That's how far time goes. 31 years. Triple H was over 30. We're talking this era being at 30. This is where the gray hairs come.
Yeah, pretty much. Like with man, and even still, like excuse me, Hitman won his first world title at 35 years old. Triple H was 30. He was 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michaels was Michaels. He was still in his 20s. I think he was like 28. Yeah. He was like 28.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Edge won his. I think Edge was in his 30s when he won his first one. When he won his first world title.
Yeah. Well, that's just been normal because I think Flair was too. I think Flair worked very close off the thing. Hogan was 84. He was 50, more than 54. He was 30.
He was 30.
So it's like you got to realize guys like The Rock, guys like the Randy Orton, guys like Brock Lesnar. They're all they're like very early 20s. That's rare.
It is. But look at the careers they turned out.
Oh, yeah. You look at amazing careers. And we'll see they're also natural.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Speaking of a late bloomer, Batista didn't win until he was like 35, 36.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's like, and see, I'll tell you this, I never saw Bret Hart coming at all as far as a world champ. Became a good one, became a real good one, but I never saw it coming just because you don't see the era of the superhero going to an end. But yeah, I'll tell you one thing, he was a hardworking world champ.
He was absolutely, and actually, you know what? I'm going to address that when we get to our topic later on.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But I want to move on here and get on to our Raw topic, and that's our Raw results from last week from 8/14. Chad Gable's on this hot streak. People are talking about him as the one to beat Gunther. Lynch versus Stratus. And Nakamura officially challenges Rollins. But I want to lead this off with this question before you get to everything else mentioned. Anything else that you might want to talk about from that episode. Shinsuke Nakamura won the Royal Rumble in 2018. He failed to capture the belt. He didn't get very many chances at the damn thing since. Is this it? Will he finally reach the mountaintop? Will he beat Seth freaking Rollins?
I hate that name. I hate that freaking in front of it. I hate it with a passion. But it's and even if it gets the belt, there you go. That's nice. Even if he gets the belt, it's not the mountaintop. It's not the mountaintop because as long as Vince is there, he can get the belt all day. Phenomenal, but Vince is. You got to realize this is the same Vince that had a guy like Cesaro that could speak 7 languages, including Mandarin. And he goes against John Cena to go learn Mandarin so they can go to China instead of using Cesaro. The guy with 7 languages and 2 more non-conversational. And he goes and uses Cena to go learn Mandarin.
Yeah.
This, just because he had a clear voice. There's no way even if he wins the title, it's not the mountaintop. It's like Kevin Nash called it himself when he won the title. He's like, you got the title, but 30 pitches. I'll give you a 30 pitch count. And this one's 60. This one's 60. That's what that's what Shinsuke's always going to get. As long as Vince is around in that place. Now with Triple H around, now with Triple H around, now with the different people in the board once Vince is gone, all day.
Yeah.
All day it'll be Shinsuke. All day it'll be Gunther. All day it'll be those guys because this is an international world. Vince still wants the All-American boy to be running the thing. That's what Cena was. That's what everything is. But as long as Vince is on that, I don't care if he has a back surgery because he tried to lift 450 pounds at 78 years old. I don't care if he's on the thing. He's still on the board. Mm-hmm. And Shinsuke's not – he can get the belt all day. He's not going to get the mountaintop. He's going to get the 30 pitches.
Yeah. And, with it's crazy because, with Vince McMahon, it's like, how much longer, Because Nakamura's 41. Can he still go? Absolutely.
He can go at 50.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at this. See, he might Vince might not like the build. You want to know what that build does? At 50, he's going to be able to kick that high.
Yeah.
It's like that's what's not understood in the middle of all of this. I want my guys to look like brother. You know, I mean, that's how Vince talks these days. Like,
yeah.
That's how the thing. But guess what? Nakamura's he's going to want people to keep going, and Nakamura's build is what's going to be able to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to be able to kick high. He's going to be the flexible one, and guess what? So will Seth Rollins's. Triple H. He had part-time, and he had that amazing build in these big matches. But how many times did he tear himself up? I mean, in 2 of the matches out of 6, he tore up his pec and then he tore up his quad again.
Yep.
And it's like you don't need to be that big at that age.
Well, okay, he's what? He's what, 54 now, maybe?
Yeah.
54?
He's like 220 now, probably.
I'll tell you, he still looks pretty huge. I'll agree with Hogan, but Hogan's 70.
Hogan's at 250 now. He showed that picture. He looks good. He needed to be this way when he was in 2002.
Yeah, but you know what?
He didn't need to be 290.
But you know what? But I will say this much though about Triple H: if he needed to cut down on the muscle some, it's not because it's doing his like bones or his other muscles or anything like that. Probably because of his heart condition. Because I've always wondered how it's going to affect him in the gym. He says he can't go in the ring no more. He don't want to risk it. But I always was curious to how that would affect his gym time.
Well, you remember this. There's one I was talking about earlier that I'm not wrong often. One of the things I was wrong with was I absolutely thought that she was having to take off so she could take care of me.
Yeah.
Because that was a rare heart condition.
It is.
And it's like, ends up that he is an athlete and he recovered from that. So I was wrong with that. And it's like, but you know something? That some people took that offense to that, which, I'm not going to care about them taking offense. But it wasn't the thing. The whole point of the thing I was saying was Triple H would have taken care of Steph if she got sick. I'm talking about a marriage.
Right, of course.
That's what a husband and a wife does for each other. That's what I meant. And it's like the biggest thing about it is, but I'm like, I was wrong there. I thought that she had to take off to take care of him because I thought we were going to see him fade away because that was such a rare heart condition.
Yeah, it was indeed. Well, I'm on to another part of the topic, and that is Lynch versus Trish Stratus. Wasn't that just a disappointment? It's like, well, it got scratched from the SummerSlam card. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna do it in Canada, 2 weeks from after SummerSlam. So then it happens, and then it ends in a count out. So now one is left thinking, did this match even need to happen?
Yes. But to say goodbye, and I'm glad Lita's completely out of it because Lita looked terrible in the ring. Yeah. Lita looked every bit like she's had a broken neck. And that's not a thing against her. She's been awesome in the day. I don't need to see her do those moves because she's so slow on the fly. She just is. Just so slow in her reactions and her movements. That's age. And that's injury. That's not against Lita. That's just what the thing is. But as far as, here's the thing. There's another thing with Vince. And you're talking to somebody who's got respect for Vince, what he created in life. And to still have respect for his business acumen, because he still has that. Mm-hmm. He's making these all this way. He's making all these moves like crazy. You know what I mean? Getting all these sales, making these billions. But there's one thing about him, as far as the age right now, he always wants to, quote unquote, look like he's forward thinking. Think about this for a second. Daniel Bryan, the whole yes movement. We're going to strap ourselves to Bryan Danielson. Oh yes, we're going to strap ourselves to Rey Mysterio. See, we got 2 world champions with Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. We're going to do that. And I said it before in one of our shows. I was talking about our very first show. The whole thing about it is they get injured. Don't get that wrong. But it always ends with, see, I tried.
It's true.
It ends with, see, I tried. And it truly did. Because when this whole thing started with the women, it started with the 4 horsewomen. We are closer to 1995 with I'm not saying it's going to happen like this, but we're closer to 1995 Alundra Blaze versus Bull Nakano, and the only match on the card and the only match in the whole thing ever. We're closer to that than just that one match than we are the Four Horsewomen and their own show. I'm not saying it's going to happen like that. They're still going to get their time, but we're closer to that. And it's, again, Vince goes, see, I tried. You want to see, it's like, see, I tried with the thing. How much did he put in with Cesaro? Because he didn't like Cesaro's voice. You want to get around the world, you have Cesaro who can speak 7 languages.
True.
But he didn't want to do it because he couldn't understand him. You think Triple H is going to do that?
And you would think, like, with Cesaro, he's the most worldwide guy in your locker room.
Yeah. I mean, and he speaks all the languages. So what do we do? Hey, John, I need you to learn the Mandarin. Which he did all right. And he can speak it decent enough. But you have the guy that already does and a lot better. There. But that's Vince. That's Vince. It's like, see, I tried. See, I'm going to be forward thinking. Now I'm going to go back to what I think works.
Yeah.
And guess what? The women, what you keep doing with the women is make up your mind with the women. Go start a show with them or don't do that. Quit teasing them.
Yeah. And stop giving them their own pay-per-view out of hush money instead of the goodness of, like, for business or your own heart. Because let's face it, WWE Evolution, that was because Vince McMahon still took on a pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia where they did not allow women. The women were outraged, but at the end of the day, Vince McMahon was not going to leave $63 million on the table. So he told those women, if I give you your own pay-per-view, will you shut up about it?
Yeah.
And I maintain that to this day. But we do have to move on to our...
I do think so. With Gable, by the way, Gable.
Gable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gable, I love him. Love him. And I like, to me, I'm going to say it forever, he needed to be the one who threw him almost over forever. He needed to be one to do it by himself. And he needed to do it with the thing. And it's like, almost, but again, it's like everything that I talk about is going to happen with Triple H.
Right.
It's going to happen with the thing. It's going to happen when Vince is not any kind of decision whatsoever. When he has no decision whatsoever, everything I'm going to say is going to happen.
Yeah.
Every bit. Because this is, if you and I were taking WWE tomorrow, these are things we would do.
Yeah. I mean, we know what's right.
We know what's right. I'm not saying Chad Gable. Who cares if he's small? Who cares if he's small? He goes to UFC, he's going to dominate. If he trains, he's going to dominate. This is the thing about fighting Vince, and he's not going to watch, because he doesn't know anything about his own stuff. This is the thing about fighting. This has been forever. 6'8", 300-pound guys cannot fight. Not well. Not well. Not very well. I mean, maybe a couple of them. Maybe Paul Varlin's got a couple wins. But they don't fight well. It's like short guys have a lower center of gravity. Yep. And their power looks better. Mm-hmm. Quit trying to do this whole thing of based off image. It's like, your last one is Roman Reigns. He's going to leave in a year. Cool. Mm-hmm. Now, use guys that look like they have the thing and they can have the power to do it.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, I want to move on to our next topic here, and that is our NXT episode from last Tuesday. So the NXT Championship match contract was signed between Wesley and Carmelo Hayes, and also wanted to talk about the potential of Trick Williams as a solo star. But on the topic of Trick Williams, doesn't he remind you of Booker T 2.0?
Yes.
Same build.
Yes, and it's like
they almost sound the same. Like, yeah. Don't
he's trying to be but you got to remember this part. There's no more Dusty.
Right.
Dusty had his. This is you know what Trick Williams is? Trick Williams would be Dusty's favorite.
Yeah.
He would be, because Trick Williams is the reason I say this. Dusty always had his broken toys. Mm-hmm. He called them his broken toys. He did not care if you were Randy Orton, he didn't want anything to do with you. And it wasn't because he didn't respect you. It was because he wanted to. I get him. Because that's what I do with people. I take the broken toys. I like to get to that thing. I understand Dusty.
He likes to
That's
fix
what
people.
I do with the people. Yes, he likes to fix people. He wasn't to have a Dusty Rose. He wasn't to have anything. He liked to fix people. He helped. I mean, he had a lot of work to do with Bayley, and she's awesome. But you know something? Trick Williams would be his favorite.
He would.
His very favorite. I'll tell you what Trick Williams would not be was a Booker T 2.0 with Dusty around. Because he would say, baby, no. You look like him, but be you. Be you, baby.
Be you, yeah.
Be you. Be you. You got to be yourself. Find you. It's like, and then he'd tell him about the thing. He guess what? He sounds a little like the Wish version of Booker. He kind of has the build.
Yeah.
He has the build, but Dusty would be going, baby, find you, baby. You know, it's like, and you know he would, and it's like Trick's missing Dusty. To me, he's missing Dusty because the minute he gets to the bigger era, it's going to show up to a bigger audience that he's trying to be Booker. Mm-hmm. And as far as a solo star, maybe Booker can go take him on and say, "Don't try to be me. Don't try to be me, Saka."
Yeah,
but it's like he'll be because Booker's a really good teacher himself. Maybe he can go out there and say, "Don't try to be me. You've got great athleticism. You got great everything. Be yourself.
Be yourself." Absolutely. So, with that being said, because Wesley already defeated Carmelo Hayes for the North American Championship, can Lightning strike twice? And I'll even add, what happens to the loser?
It's NXT and it's part of WWE. It's all you got to remember. It's always there unless you are unless you're Gunther or Walter, unless you're Brock, you're gonna get 50-50.
Yeah,
you're gonna get 50-50. Whether it's 50-50 to build to a third, or it's 50-50 just because the creative can't write anything, they can't do anything, something like that. It's like I said, the one thing about creative I've had since the 80s, not even now, is they don't know how to do good. They don't know how to do baby faces. You know, it's like every baby face that we know that ever got truly powerfully over has a little bit of attitude.
Of course.
Austin and Rock, Hulk cheated like hell every match. Mm-hmm. Every match, but the fans loved it. The fans were in the middle of the ear and everything. They loved it because the heels were cheating, and he's just getting them back. He
was giving them the same thing that. Yep.
Yeah, they were getting back. It's like Hulk cheated like hell in matches. It's like fans love. That's the thing that creative doesn't understand. Fans just love somebody with an attitude. Yeah, and it's like everything. And get the whole thing right now with LA Knight attitude.
Yep.
And that's why they get it over. It's like, quit smiling. It's like, and then guess what? Roman Reigns would be an amazing babyface with the way he is as a heel. Yep. But they keep him as a heel because they don't know how to write that. They would have him try to be a baby. No. That's a badass looking babyface.
Yes.
I mean, those eyes at a WrestleMania in a big match moment, that that would get powerful pops.
Absolutely.
And that's what they don't understand. And so you bring about Wesley being Carmelo Hayes. I'm making it as this part. Probably not. And it's because you can't. They cannot. They have to do 50-50 on everything because guess what? This isn't Booker T versus Chris Benoit best of 7, where it was 3-1 and then it went to 7. They can't. They don't know how to make it good.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? That was so good. And let's revisit this for just 1 second. Because in 1998, Booker T and Chris Benoit had a best of 7. You have to be that talented because you can't pull it off nowadays. You got to be that talented to have 7 straight, and they really had 8. Yeah. 8 straight matches. And it all be exciting. They actually had another best of 7 series in 2004 for the United States title. You know?
Yep. Well, think about this. It was Magnum TA versus Nikita. Magnum TA versus Nikita, best of 7, and Magnum TA lost 3 in a row. Barely won the first. Barely. Survived it. Gets his strength back. Number 2. But dominates the 3rd. Then he loses the 4th barely. That's Dusty, though.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty understood baby faces and heels. This is my point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And actually, I it slipped my mind. Just last year in AEW, the Elite and I forget the other team, but they had a best of seven series. But even then, those were trios matches for the trios titles. We'll
Yeah.
touch on AEW here in a second. But between two men, now we know in a tag match or in a 6-man tag or whatever, like anything can happen because everyone's all over the place, right? But we're talking about one-on-one, two men that has to put on a show for however long it goes. Let's go, and let's face it, chances are it's going to go 7 matches, right? You know, but to be able to entertain the crowd for all 7 matches, that takes a special type of talent. And seeing as you're on once a week, you realize you're working with that person directly for nearly 2 months.
Well, see, the problem
If not like, because, well, it might be twice a week, but it's 2 months, almost 2 months.
Well, see, the problem is with that is when I brought up Magnum and Nikita, who Nikita should have never been a babyface. He was terrible at it. Mm-hmm. You don't want to. In 18 months, he goes from having to run himself into a steel girder to sell for Rick, to fall for bumping on a punch from Bobby Eaton.
Yeah.
Just because he has to go sell, it didn't make sense. It never made sense, and that was the point of the deal. But this is the thing about this is the deal about it. This is why. See, when you had Jim Cornette, Dusty had Jim Cornette, Bill Watts had Jim Cornette. You basically say, "We're going to Charlotte, North Carolina. Sell some tickets, baby. You're going to be facing the Fantastics. Sell some tickets." You get an idea. You trust them.
Yes.
Trust them to make the deal. If you don't, you're just not in. But you trust them to be good. You trust them to come up with something different. When you are micromanaging everything.
Vince.
Yeah, but just people in general. I mean, AEW can do it too, because remember how many people hold each other up during the matches.
True.
It's like, I'm just saying the most of the wrestling of now, it's hard to do it because you're not trusting anyone. Guess what? You want to know the ones who succeed now? Brock. Because who the hell's going to give Brock a script?
Exactly.
Who's going to give Brock a script? Who's going to give any of these guys a comeback? Okay, guess what? Hulk Hogan had an interview with Theo Von. I mean, he went, literally, they gave Hulk like a 3-4 page script. Hulk went up to Vince. But just before he goes out there, really? Vince, really? And he said, just you can throw it away. Hulk can get away with it.
Yes, you can.
He can get away with it because he is a master. He's a master of the mic. Brock can be able to figure things. They've been around 20 some odd years. But those are the ones that succeed because you don't micromanage them.
That's true.
The ones that did not succeed back in the day, they had to be micromanaged, and then they were micromanaged out. And that was the thing. You got it. And it's like when you had Big Boss Man becoming Big Bubba. The only thing he ever had to give Big Bubba was when Big Bubba made a mistake, was one of the Mulkeys banged his head against the thing. He says, "Do not do something you're not trained to do. Do not do something you ain't trained to do, or you are not able to do," or something like that. It's because he made a mistake and got the guy out. He give him a little bit of shit, and then it's over.
Yep.
He gives a young guy that freedom. Give him freedom.
Give him room.
Give him room. Give him freedom. Give him fly. That's the thing about it, is when you have so many writers. It is NXT, it's AEW, it's here. You have so many writers, there's no room to fly truly. Miz made his own room to fly. Mm-hmm. He did, but Miz talks about, if you can't do it, it's like, Miz was always such a rebel.
Yeah.
Miz was always a rebel. He got kicked out of his own locker room, and then he did it, and he was a rebel anyway. It's like, you kind of just have to risk it. No risk it, no biscuit. And it's like, when you're not good, you're out. Omos doesn't think of anything. Everything is given to him. So, I mean, it's just like, there is the thing. And guess what happens when everything's given to you? He's dominant with 3-on-1s and 1-on-1s, and then he loses every big match.
Yep.
That's what you're given everything.
Yep. You squash everybody, then you lose to Lesnar at Mania.
Yeah, and it's like, You don't go anywhere when you lose every big match.
Yeah.
And you didn't do that to Andre.
No.
I mean,
No,
literally, it was no one knew Andre lost. They put a 15-year winning streak on Andre, and he lost a bunch, but no one knew it because he knew how to make it.
He knew how to make it, yeah. And I mean, you think about it, you got a guy like Omos. Omos is young. He should have beaten aging Lesnar at Mania. That he's 2 times bigger than.
And then Lesnar can get him back at SummerSlam.
Exactly, if he really wanted his get back. But we do have to move on to our SmackDown topic. That's our SmackDown results from 8/18, in which we saw Edge's final match, and then also, the new look Street Profits. And what will Jimmy Uso's role be upon return? Now, before I pass it on to you, I do want to address something, and that was with our last topic, and that was, could Wesley beat Carmelo Hayes again? I do agree that he can do it again, and I think that he will be the one to take the belt off of Hayes. It may not be at Heat Wave, but eventually he'll be the one to take the belt off of Carmelo Hayes. And here's what I think is going to happen with Carmelo Hayes. You see this new look Street Profits right here?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to put, I want everybody to, I'm saying this on the record, okay? When he leaves NXT, they're going to put Carmelo Hayes with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits.
You know something? And
if you put Carmelo Hayes, there's no one else you can put him under more perfect than Bobby Lashley.
Absolutely. But the thing about this is what I'm saying. And you brought that up. All I'm saying is like, would we have him, Wesley win, or would we have that? Of course we would. Because you get to that thing, we do. But again, you're talking about writers' rooms. You're talking about, even if it's NXT and it's shorter, even if there's something booking, it's still the mindset.
I will give props, before you continue, I will give props to the writers for one thing, and that was the Hurt Business. That run was flawless. That was Vince that cut that off.
No, I know. And it's like, again, that's what he does. And it's like, in the Hurt Business was awesome. But the thing about Street Profits, though, it says new look. We had how many looks of the Usos?
2?
How many looks? Yeah, but I'm saying, remember when the Usos came in? Remember the first time the Usos, no, 3 of them actually, because the first time the Usos came in, it's like, we not the ones like Dancer, we ain't got the Samoans, we the gangster or whatever. They did something ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
About 4 months later, they're dancing.
Yeah.
4 months later, dancing, and then the third one, then the third thing.
They
had 3 moves, but how many you get? It's like, how many are you going to do with Street Profits? You did 3 times. Usos finally came through in the third. How many are you going to get before? And again, you brought up Vince, and it's like, and I like Street Profits. I like Street Profits. I loved Hurt Business. Hurt Business is a bad team. I
don't know a soul who didn't like them.
But they're a bad looking team. I mean, you want to know who would have been awesome? You know who would have been awesome in the Hurt Business if you would have do it for if you're going to do something like, I'm just saying this right now, Ron Simmons.
Absolutely.
Ron Simmons.
Have him be like the old mentor. Oh my God.
Yeah,
for real would have been Nation 2.0.
No. We have MVP with all of those. We have MVP with all those suits, and he looks like he's the leader. His leader is Ron.
Yes.
And it's like his leader is Ron. I'm just talking about what you could do with that. His leader is Ron, who can talk.
And you don't even have to put him in the full garb. Just let him wear the leather African hat. Just a few times. Yes. A few times. Just because there's going to be someone in that audience who remembers the Nation of Domination.
Oh, yeah. No, Ron. What I'm just saying, though, Ron Simmons would have been awesome. But these are little things that don't get thought of. It's like, Ron Simmons isn't hurt. Take one look at him. He still looks great.
He does.
You don't have to make him bump. He can, and he can still throw a punch.
You know what?
I mean, it's like
we talk so much. I'm sorry, before you continue. We talk about unselfish superstars, ones that made stars. Guys like Helmsley, and he still managed to be a 14-time champion, but he made stars.
Yeah.
Ric Flair made stars. Okay. But one name that does not get talked about that made stars is Farouk, Ron Simmons. That was his purpose for the Nation of Domination. He never cared about being world champion. He'd been a world champion. He was like, look, WWE really is the second half of my career. I want a downslide. I just want to make new stars. Mark Henry's a Hall of Famer and a former world champion. Godfather, a Hall of Famer, Intercontinental champion. D'Lo Brown, future Hall of Famer, greatest Intercontinental European champion of all time. And then there's that John the Dwayne Roxon guy.
Yeah, something like that, yes. I mean, a John the Dwayne Roxon, that sounds something like AEW would make.
Yeah.
No.
Dwayne Roxon is all elite.
Yeah, right, no kidding.
But go ahead.
But that's the thing. That's the big deal with him is where is Ron Simmons? It's like he doesn't have to bump. This is why I could not stand in the first place. You took one look at him in Acolytes. Took one look at him in the Acolytes after the end of the whole thing. Why is that man selling to anybody outside maybe Mark Henry?
Yeah.
Take one look. Look at the intensity he had without the movement. He's like Derrick Henry, the football player.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's like there's intensity without looking like intensity, and he's running you over. He doesn't have to move. Why are you bumping him? Why are you doing all this? Why does he have to? It's like that's somebody you could have to dominate.
Right.
And personally, to me, I would have had to get. This is the thing. Remember when Bobby Lashley broke the master lock?
Yes.
I'd have Ron Simmons have done it as an old man. Who cared? We already knew. The reason I'm saying this, he was like 47, 48 when he did that, when he was doing the thing, and they did it whatsoever, 46 or something. Of course, you knew Lashley was going to do it. You kind of know. What if Ron, the old man, does it one more time? You get a match at a pay-per-view. He loses. It puts over Masters. But it's like, why couldn't? I mean, come on, Simmons is the guy that would break that thing easy.
Yeah. Old Simmons definitely would have done it. So, your thoughts on the last match or proposed last match? I guess are supposed to be rumored to be last match. Edge versus Sheamus, first time ever. You thought they tore it up?
Oh yeah, of course. And I hope it's his last match. Period. I don't want him in AEW. I don't want him there. It's like I don't want Adam Copeland. I don't want Adam Copeland's all elite. I want Edge. It's like I want Edge, and it's like I want Edge. I want Adam Copeland to go back to. Personally, to me, I want him to go back to acting and doing it with his beautiful wife and his kids.
Yeah.
I don't want this. It's like he didn't need the gigantic end match because this was perfect. This was the match that Kurt Angle could have had.
Yep.
He could have had it, except Vince can be goofy, and he does Baron Corbin, which did nothing for him. Right. Did nothing for either. And it's like Edge versus Sheamus. Way to go out. Don't screw it up because I can promise you someone's going to screw up your real ending because Flair versus Michaels, the real way out. Whatever happens, he goes to Australia with 4 really bad matches with Hogan. Goes to TNA with a lot of bad matches. Goes to a couple of indie shows with a lot of bad matches. And then his final match is a 73-year-old. He passes out twice.
Yeah.
Your end was by the way, meanwhile, there's Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who had his final match and then he hurt himself in 94. Goes back in 2009, 15 years later, with 2 amazing matches against Jericho. Retires again, gets his final match in a 6-man, and looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just do it right and go. This was right. Don't screw yourself up.
Yeah, I agree. And then, real quick, before we go into our next topic, what do you think Jimmy Uso's role and purpose will be upon his return?
See, it's been so dang long. How do you do it without screwing up? Because he's been with the bloodline for so long. It has been, and in this era with these fans, this is what they know. Do you just bring them back with? Do you just bring him back without explanation with Roman? Do you do that? It's like it's been so long with this that if you don't do it right, then you're forcing it back with the bloodline just to make the fans happy. It's basically like the Kurt Angle versus the Baron Corbin deal.
Yeah.
And it's like, which forces a thing. And these are the points I make. You know, it's These are the points I make with something about overdoing it with the writing and with everything. It's just like, let things fly. And if you let things fly, Jimmy would know what to do on this thing. It's like Jimmy knows what to do with his family. Can the creative team do anything without his family, without making him look like an idiot? Cody had to go start his own company. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, an Intercontinental Champion, Cody Rhodes, becomes Stardust.
Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes Stardust because they're morons. They're the ones like clicking and clacking on an empty screen because they didn't want to tell him they had nothing for him. It's like anything that wasn't the Rhodes family, anything that was not the Rhodes family, the creative didn't know what to do because the Rhodes family was involved.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's the same with the Usos. Can they do anything with this guy without the family getting involved and coming up with ideas?
Right.
Without screwing him up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got about 10 minutes left and 3 more topics here. So moving on to our AEW news from last week. Some headlines here. Punk and Samoa Joe set for All In London. MJF and Cole will challenge for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles on All In Dark before their match later on that night for the world titles, for the AEW World title. Can one man leave London a dual champion? And if so, who is it? MJF or Adam Cole?
I could see Cole, like I was bringing it up a week ago, I could see Cole turning on MJF, becoming the whole friend, and turning him even more psychotic. I could see that, it's everything. And I don't think a dual champion, or they could do it later, which that would make sense. You could leave the dual champion, you get MJF's drop his guard and then turn on him.
And turn on him, yeah. Absolutely.
Then he got a real psychotic because he finally let his guard down.
True.
As far as Punk and Samoa Joe, that was not a good looking go to sleep. Punk is getting older. That wasn't a good looking go to sleep, and Samoa Joe looks injured. So that didn't look good. I mean, more than anything, he pulled the mask off. He pulled that mask off too quickly, and the fans were for it. But he pulled it off too quickly because he obviously had to do that because that was messed up.
Yeah, it was.
It was messed up. Yeah, that was a terrible looking go to sleep. And it's like, it's going to be a good match, but there's going to have to be a cover up because they're both getting older and they're both getting injured.
Yeah, they are. And so our next topic, all done with the news coverage, but our next to last topic, and this originated as a poll on my Twitter, and it overwhelmingly was for the first one instead of the second one. So I'll just ask you, which betrayal was more iconic, Michaels to Jannetty or Scott Steiner to Rick Steiner?
I'm going to go Michaels because it started. I mean, Scott was at the right middle to bare end, and not to bare end, but middle to end of his career. Because he was already 30, and he was injured. And
he was already about 37, 38 years old, yeah.
Yes, and it was all that. Michaels was 25 when this happened.
Right.
And they knew him as the tag team guys, and there's everything like that. And it's like, oh my God, are you kidding? Oh my God, he jumped through the window. Will you be serious? That guy.
Yeah.
Bobby. But Michaels, it made a career. Scott's was made, even if it was a tag team. He just had a new version. But Michaels, he wasn't going anywhere else as a babyface. This really changed his career. This was the most iconic.
But I'll ask you this much. At what point in time did you or people really think of the Rockers at the height of their fame as a tag team, okay? Did anybody really point to the blonde one and say, he's clearly the more talented one, he would blow up if he would ever go solo? Or did people start thinking that when he ran Jannetty's head through that glass?
They ran Jannetty's head, and the one who did know it was Bobby Heenan.
Now, I'll tell you this much. When Scott turned on Rick Steiner, the moment he did it, did you see a future world champion? But also before then, just from his moveset and everything, did you see a future world champion?
Yes, because he should have beat Flair. I mean, Scott Steiner was awesome in his day. unreal. He was iconic with his moves. But the thing about Michaels being so small and being everything is Bobby Heenan knew it. See, that's the thing about Bobby with everything. It's like Bobby called it with quite a few things that people never saw it coming.
Right.
It's just that's why he was a genius. But he was such a quiet genius in that way because he was just helping in the moment. But he was it's like little things like I'll tell you this. Scott Hall told Matt Morgan once. Matt Morgan used to do the boom, 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 boom. One match against it was him and Scott Hall. He told him, take your time, do them and everything. Boom, boom. The place went to explode. It was the biggest explosion he ever had for those elbows. Because Scott Hall told him little things like that, which is something that Heenan would have told him.
Yep, that's true.
It's little things. See, Matt Morgan was missing those guys because it was at the bare end of everything. You know what I'm saying? He was missing the bare end. I mean, Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan would have loved to have a Matt Morgan around.
Yeah.
To manage. You get to be able to tell things like that because that kid, he was so perfect.
He was. Okay, and then our final topic, our weekly finish or DQ. And I know we've discussed this for maybe a few seconds over text message, but finish or DQ. Diesel's run as WWF Intercontinental Champion was better than this run as a WWF World Champion.
Not even close. Of course it was. That's a finish. And by the way, we also have to talk. We have the question about Jesse also. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, but I'll bring up Diesel real quick. Yes, it was because his opponents were 1, 2, 3 Kid, Scott Hall, and Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. No, it wasn't Michaels with the Intercontinental. It wasn't Michaels with the Intercontinental, but he had Michaels in his corner.
He did have him in his corner. And I was thinking about this earlier today, and if you look at the whole lineup that you just said, right? Diesel's run as Intercontinental Champion, the best guy he faced was Razor Ramon, and he beat him.
Oh, he faced
Diesel's
Kid
run.
also. He faced Kid a couple times too.
He did. Diesel's run as WWF World Champion, the best guy he faced was Hart, and he lost to him.
Yeah. Well, and then he had to face, face a beat up Ron Simmons Farouk one time.
Yeah.
Which this was not the Farouk that we knew. That was not a good match. He had to face Mabel, which was horrible.
That was terrible.
That was terrible. And then he gets a couple of then he gets the Canadians. You know, I mean, Lafitte, Jean-Pierre Lafitte. Mm-hmm. He gets them for a few times and a pay-per-view. Terrible matches. So it's always your opponents. It's always your opponents. We can bring up Hogan and Flair. How many amazing opponents did they have?
Yeah, true. All right, 3 minutes. Did Jesse Ventura really need to be heel?
And the point I made this to question up, was he heel? And I'll say this, did he need to be heel? The reason I bring that up is because Jesse was a heel at moments, like when he laughed when the Ultimate Warrior was in trouble.
Yeah.
Maybe everything. But I always looked at Jesse as more of a nihilist. Someone who was Jesse liked people that broke the rules. That's a bit of a nihilist.
He loved
more
them,
than he liked it more because he was totally pro Macho Man. Other than calling him Chico, he was pro Tito. He'd always give him good props with his matches.
Yeah.
You know, he'd give certain people props. And then he would always say, I got to give him credit. He did it. Blah, blah, blah. See, every heel you'd ever hear cheated. And that's why I couldn't stand, because of Jesse, because of Bobby, I couldn't stand Lawler because of, I didn't know you didn't do it. Ha, ha. No, I hated that. because Jesse made the point. Bobby made the point. They both did this. They admitted when the babyface won. They hated it, but they admitted it. And that's the thing about Jesse. The fans wanted him to go babyface. Remember WrestleMania 4 when he's doing this and doing all that, the huge pop he got. Mm-hmm. People and then the time when he was going to be the SummerSlam referee, and he does this to Brother Love. Yeah, place goes nuts, and then he goes. Then he cowers to Andre. But he always kind of he kind of teased it. the carrot. Jesse to me was a nihilist more than a heel. I'd love to talk to him and ask him one day because he never felt like a complete heel to me other than if he hated you.
Yeah, very true. And you know what? If you really sit back and think about it, Lawler was the only one who sat in that heel announce seat and would never admit when he was wrong. Heenan did it. Ventura did it. Who else?
Yeah.
Even Paul Heyman has done it.
Yeah.
But Lawler would never admit when he was wrong.
Which is why I couldn't stand Lawler. I'm saying I love Lawler in the ring. Could not stand him in the booth because it was so 1984.
Yes.
It was so 1984, and his jokes were 1984. And he never moved forward, and then he never grew up. Everybody else acted like adults, even if they were con artists, but they acted like adults. I mean, Lawler always acted like a 12 to 15-year-old, always. Well, it's also what he dated.
Oh, boy. On that note, we're going to end the show. Monday Night Raw is on right now on USA. Thank you all for tuning in to Top Rope Talk. Shout out to George Icon, Candy Ebling, Kelly McClure, Tanner D, Brian Newdall, Jeremy Ballreich, a.k.a. JB 2.0. Thanks for tuning in and everything. Everybody, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button to Sideline Sports on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter. Also, check us out on DBTV, LinkedIn, and Stream TV. So for the Sniper and the Pundit, I'm the Sniper. He's the Pundit. We'll see y'all in 7 days. This is Top Rope Talk.